To calculate the total electrical load for a duplex, firstly we need to determine the individual loads of each appliance and electrical component. For the range, the load is 7 kVA. The garbage disposal load is calculated by multiplying the amperage, 5 amps, by the voltage, 120 volts, resulting in 0.6 kVA. The dishwasher load is calculated by multiplying its amperage, 11 amps, by the voltage, 120 volts, giving us 1.32 kVA. The hot water tank has a load of 3 kilowatts, which is equivalent to 3 kVA. The wall heat load is 15 kilowatts. The air conditioning load is calculated by multiplying the number of units, which is 2, by the amperage, 21 amps, and the voltage, 240 volts, giving us 10.8 kVA. Secondly, add all the individual loads together. This includes 7 kVA for the range, 0.6 kVA for the garbage disposal, 1.32 kVA for the dishwasher, 3 kVA for the hot water tank, 15 kilowatts for the wall heat, and 10.8 kVA for the air conditioning. The sum of these loads is 36.98 kVA. Thirdly, round up the total load to the nearest multiple of 5. In this case, 36.98 kVA rounds up to 37 kVA. Fourthly, refer to the appropriate electrical service calculation table to determine the corresponding service amperage for the calculated load of 37 kVA. Based on the table, the standard answer for the service amperage is 234 amps. The optional answer of 237 amps is also acceptable because it is within 2% of the calculated load. When performing service calculations for a duplex in Washington State and Alaska, treat the duplex as a triplex due to local electrical code requirements. Now, let's move on to calculating the total electrical load for a 40-unit apartment building. The question specifies that no house or laundry load to be used in the calculation. Firstly, calculate the total load for all 40 units. The range load is 8 kVA per unit. Multiply this by 40 units, which gives us a total of 320 kVA. The garbage disposal load is 0.6 kVA per unit. Multiply this by 40 units, giving a total of 24 kVA. The dishwasher load is 1.2 kVA per unit. Multiply this by 40 units, resulting in 48 kVA. The hot water tank load is 2.5 kVA per unit. Multiply this by 40 units, totaling 100 kVA. The air conditioning load is calculated by multiplying the amperage, 18 amps, by the voltage, 120 volts, and then by the number of units, 40, which equals 86.4 kVA. Secondly, add all the individual loads together. This includes 320 kVA for the ranges, 24 kVA for the garbage disposals, 48 kVA for the dishwashers, 100 kVA for the hot water tanks, and 86.4 kVA for the air conditioning. The sum of these loads is 578.4 kVA. Thirdly, round up the total load to the nearest multiple of 5. In this case, 578.4 kVA rounds up to 580 kVA. Fourthly, refer to the service calculation table to find the corresponding service amperage for the calculated load of 580 kVA. The standard answer for the service amperage is 1950 amps. The optional answer of 989 amps is incorrect because it does not consider the house or laundry load, which is typically included in the service calculation, even though we were told not to consider it for the purpose of this calculation. Therefore, it is important to include all relevant loads in the service calculation to ensure an accurate result and adequate electrical service capacity.